new premier partner, Snickerdoodle. They're putting 1 million DGen into supporting Farcaster's growth where your voice matters. Take their surveys, earn DGen, and help build the future of this platform. It's simple. Head to Snickerdoodle's Share to Earn channel, find and take the surveys, share them, and claim your rewards. Let's help shape this space together. And welcome Snickerdoodle to the GM Farcaster family. GM Farcaster. It is Monday. Happy Monday or happy Friday. Depends on where you want to live in the world. And it is September 30th, last day of the month. I can't believe tomorrow's October. That's insane. And you are here with Nownish Prof and Adrian for, I'm not even going to say it, Farcaster news to start your day. I was going to say 29 minutes, but let's be real. We've already started late too. So we're going to be chatting about some Farcaster news, and then we're going to shift gears and bring up some members of the park who we adore. So if you see our backgrounds right now, this was from Base Camp, and yeah, she's sporting the 40s. She's got the 40 ounces behind her. The Happy Friday beer is behind her, is behind Adrian.
And I think they're normal sizes. It just looks somehow magnified in my background. Like it's a swimming pool sized massive can of beer.
A lot of beer.
It's amazing.
And then behind me was the studio where they played at Base Camp, and FWB Fest, and it was amazing. So, but before we bring them up, we're going to go through just a few fun things and German size. Exactly. And we've had some fun happening on the timeline, which has been really cool. And this was the love match little action, little frame, and it was very cute. So this was mine, and I forgot to bring yours up. I don't know if you did this, Adrian, but mine was, my love match was Toady Hawk. Let's be clear, it's a brotherly love. We've discussed this. Admirer is Dan, and I don't know if that means he admires me or I admire him, but let's hope it's both. Why not both? And my future crush is Joe. And what I thought was interesting about these frames is that most people, the future crush thing was somebody they weren't following, somebody they didn't know. So it actually gave some boost to folks who had maybe not as many followers, and they would pop up in that future crush spot. And I have to give a little shout out to Yes to Crypto, who his was just perfection. It was, I'm like, yep, who? I was the love match and you were the admirer. And then we had Bryce, who we don't know who Bryce is, but now we're all following him. So mission accomplished. These are cute too. Oxbid, I also showed up on Oxbids. And thanks for sharing these. So did you do one, Adrian? I don't think I saw yours. So
I did. And I didn't share it.
Oh, well, then that's why I didn't see it. So that's why it's not here.
And I'm redoing it right now as we speak.
All right. We'll come back to you.
And I'm sharing it as we speak.
Okay.
So I can tell you why I didn't share it immediately, and some feedback to app developers. I need to know what goes into the algorithm. Like, you can't just tell me I'm in love with someone or something. Like, what does it mean? I've seen these iterations of.
She wanted analysis.
Before. Yeah, but what does it mean to have an admirer?
Yeah,
or
I was curious about that one. Yeah,
why? Like, why are you showing me my future crush, which is Ox Diablo?
Okay, and these are all good questions.
Sorry, I'm ranting.
Is it Ox Diablo or 0x Diablo?
0x. Sorry, 0x Diablo. Fine, I'll follow you now.
I figured
it works.
It works. And I think I'm assuming the love match is like how many times you've liked each other's stuff, which would line up.
Oh, is it
perfectly.
Like mutual and then
And I think admirer might be the same, but I'm not sure what admirer is. That one did need more explanation because I couldn't tell which direction it was going in. But it was interesting, cute little frame.
It tracks.
A little fun.
I got
a little bit of fun.
I have Phil. My love match is Phil at PJC, Phil Cockfield.
Perfect.
And my admirer is Kristen.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. More fun on Farcaster trivia. We got to talk about trivia. I'm obsessed with trivia. Matthew Fox, fantastic job. This is a mini app that is now built in to Farcaster. And this was the first one. First game, this is from Matthew. First game was fun, but very messy, and it was. After reviewing the data and the issues, we are going to reward the top 3 performers, Aneri, Christopher, and Turtle Farts 420. Yep. Things you only say in crypto. $50 USDC each. The remaining 100 has been split equally among anyone who answered question 1 or question 7 post reset. Thanks for playing fctrivia.xyz. And what this is it is similar to HQ Trivia, if you do remember that. We did talk about this a little bit last week, but it was really fun because you were in the app on Farcaster. It pops up as a mini app, and Ted was streaming live giving the questions. And then the questions would pop up. You choose your answer. You'd see within a few seconds who got them right. Your color would change within the chat. If you were wrong, you would change to red. If you stayed on green, and then it went through and it kept cutting. As you got one wrong, you were cut out of the winnings. So there were a lot of bumps. There were some challenges, but everyone who played, I think, loved it, and I'm looking forward to the next one, which is on Wednesday. So go follow Matthew Fox and go check it out and join in. It was really fun. I think you will like it, Adrian. I've already asked for Farcaster Trivia. I want to do it. I want us to host it. So we'll see. And Ted was the host of this, and I loved this cast so much. From Base Tycoon, I think Ted is the most social person on Warpcast, always engaging and bringing people together. Also, I have to say, he's got the charm of a beautiful woman when it comes to making connections effortlessly.
He totally does.
He totally does.
He is so charming.
He is,
and he comes across so beautiful.
As a beautiful woman. But I just thought that was funny, and I think it was very made in earnest and had no idea, and then was promptly told, well, that's because she is. So great job, Ted. And this was so funny from Lynx. They don't know I'm a beautiful woman. No one cares. We like you for your general vibe. So there you go. Good one, Lynx. We liked the meme. This is from Dylan, and this is showing me that we're about to be out of a job, which was, inevitable. Just did this, and I'm so impressed with the results. Notebook LM is so sick, and in my opinion, this is actually a great overview of Dev Day. I threw in all my notes and all the public articles, casts I could find on it. Here are the first 4 minutes or so. I'll link the full thing in the next cast. And what this was is it takes all these documents and creates a podcast for you. And it is too good. So I'm not even going to let you listen to it. If you want to find it, you got to go find it on Dylan because it's too good. And I find it frightening. And by the way, there's more than once I have thought I was listening to myself. It was like, it sounds
like a little like your voice. The woman has it's the podcast voice. It's the
apparently I have the podcast voice. There you go.
So I don't know if you saw a notebook. They created a podcast where they told the AIs that they're AI, and then they talk about it on their podcast. It's on X. It's
I haven't seen that one.
Content where they do a podcast where they find out their AI and how they
talk
feel
it through
about it.
And how and share. It's a feelings check-in by the AIs. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting.
I really want to know.
I'm disturbed.
There's so much attention on Notebook LM in this podcast generation, and I really want to know. I mean, similar, like anytime something comes out, it blows your mind.
Yeah.
But I really actually want to know what people think about the content. Like, is it something you want to listen to? And if you listen to similar podcasts, like two people just yapping, how would you listen to AIs yapping?
That's a good question. We should do a little poll. We might have to do a poll on this because I'm curious as well. I think that we're better at yapping, but we'll see. I don't know.
I don't think we are.
Pretty damn good. But this is really good.
I'm not sure we're better, but I think for me, it's like I hate that woman and I hate that man, and I don't think it's just because they're coming after my job. I think it's because I know they're not real, and it's like the Matrix rejecting, like the Matrix is pushing back, and it's like, no, I just need to know I want to listen to a human. Okay,
interesting. But I did think it was really well done. Honestly, it's pretty slick. So go check it out and let us know if we're out of jobs.
Yeah, Naomi. Oh no, every man will have 5 podcasts
I-
going forward. They already do.
They already
They
do.
don't need the AI.
They already do. I don't know why Naomi didn't tell us about this when she was on with us on Friday. And by the way, go back and listen. It was great. But Naomi, Afro Chicks, is doing a collab with Hire. So every Sunday evening, my coach sends me my training schedule for the week ahead. Here's yours. It starts tomorrow, 7 days, 7 challenges. Post your receipts and workout pick video each day in the Hire Athletics channel and tag me. And this is to win some Hire. But wait, there's more. Courtesy of Nonlinear and Hypersub, people who complete this challenge and are subscribed to my Hypersub by the end of next week will be in for a chance to win 1 extra month of subscription for free. There will be 3 winners. Let's go team. And the first challenge is up. You can find it in, I think it's in Hire Athletics. I believe that is the channel it's in. Go check it out. It's a hit workout today, and post your receipts when you are done. Yep, it's in Hire Athletics channel. So go check it out. Loved chatting with her. It was amazing. And
if I hadn't gotten run over by a car, I would totally do the Hire challenge this week.
I know. And if I was in any way, shape, or form in good shape, I would do it as well. I really just don't want to. But I will watch you all do it and cheer you on. Meanwhile, here's what I'm doing. I'm exercising my brain, and it's killing me because Coach Phil is tough. He's no joke. Here's the Silicon Valley Canon reading list for this week on founders, and it is intense. I talked about how I watched The Social Network last week with my son. It was great. Revisited that one, and I have a lot of reading to do. There are chapters within this that you're assigned to read, so it's not the whole thing because there's no way I'm getting through whatever that Elon Musk book is. I think it's like 800 pages or something. So no, I'm already behind. I'm like the worst student ever. But Phil, I'm enjoying it. It's definitely pushing my brain. This from Linda. Now, Bountycaster is a complete Farcaster client. We added the ability to reply directly to bounty posts through our website. Need to sign in with Farcaster and grant signer permissions, similar to what Supercast and other clients request. This will make it much quicker to respond to bounties. So very cool. Great development here from Bountycaster. And I've been seeing it pop up a lot also on Twitter, which is fantastic. So make sure you're following Linda on Twitter as well and share that. And this from Jamie. I'm excited to announce that Launchcaster has been acquired by OrangeDAO. We launched Launchcaster 2 years ago because we didn't have a great place to share and discover crypto projects with a community that cared. Since then, our side project has evolved into a public good, fostering thousands of launches and attracting over 15,000 crypto builders. We want to find a long-term home for Launchcaster where it could grow and continue as a public good for crypto builders without needing to turn into some short-term speculative experiment. Just as YC runs Hacker News and Hyper runs Product Hunt, OrangeDAO running Launchcaster is a perfect fit. So very cool new iteration. And so congrats, Jamie. Congrats, OrangeDAO. And nice purple knuckles is all I have to say about that. So Henry Stern from Privy. This is true. Best performing social network to finding elite teammates and amazing builders generally. And this is in response to, fun fact from Max, we've hired 10% of Privy's team from Farcaster. After hacking alongside Pepperonic on Little Monsters at FarCon, we knew he was special. A few months later, he's now a member of our engineering team following Peyton's footsteps. So we're actually hiring for React Native and front-end teammates. So if you are looking for something, a great team to work with. And I love that they've been finding their employees on Farcaster. It's amazing. Couple more things, and then we're going to chat with the park. Farcaster is an economy that we can measure by how much activity, both on and off chain, it generates. This is from Luke. To that effect, I've been working on a Farcaster economy dashboard. It's quite not ready, but I'm boosted today and I need feedback and suggestions. So if you have suggestions or feedback on the student dashboard, go check it out. I think it's a really cool addition to the Farcaster economy. And speaking of the Farcaster economy, if you want to learn all about it, go check out the State of Farcaster report. This is from Snickerdoodle. Your product testing or marketing campaign calibration can do much better on Farcaster than spending thousands of dollars on X, TG, or Discord, simply because of the high quality crowd and also a lot of early adopters. But the platform itself doesn't give much insights about its ecosystem yet. So, of course, we had the pleasure to do it. Check out State of Farcast report to understand the platform better and leverage it to its fullest. And they've also been dropping some of the quotes from the report in here. And here's our friend DeWoofy talking about Farcaster. So check this out. You can look for it in the Share to Earn channel or follow Snickerdoodle on Warpcast. I am flying through because I'm trying to get through a bunch more things before we chat. So flying along here, Ina, Be Curious on Warpcast, brought her GM Farcaster shirt to the Network State School, and we love you for that. So of course we had to show this. But also follow Be Curious if you are curious about what's happening at the Network School, which is Balaji's experiment in Network States. And it seems like they're having some amazing experiences there. So I know you've been following Be Curious and what she's been doing. It's been very cool to see.
Do you know how happy it makes me to see GM Farcaster shirts in Asia?
In the wild? Yeah, it's amazing. I can't believe she brought it with her. Yeah, I mean, to Singapore. That's amazing. I love it when we see these in the wild. It makes me so happy. MoshiCam, now introducing friend stacks. You can view all your friends' new Moshis on our brand new Explore page. Never miss a friend's post and easily collect their latest Moshis, which I love this. And next week, I'm going to be at Nounstown and I'm going to be doing some reporting for them, doing a little blog on that, but I'm also going to be dropping a lot on MoshiCam. And I think this is going to make it a lot easier to follow along with that. So go check that out. And speaking of Moshi, did you see this one? This is wild. This is from Ukraine. But first, let us take a selfie. This one deserved a MoshiCam mint. I mean, amazing. And stay safe, Irina. But I loved seeing this. This is incredible. So
Rena's been posting a lot, and she has a nonprofit, I think, called Crystal Hearts that she's raising money for. But she provides aid to frontline, in Ukraine, and she is putting herself in harm. She lives in harm, and then she casts about it as if it's like I'm getting a cup of coffee. And it's crazy. Every time I see her on the feed, it's like a reminder of how grateful I am to be living somewhere far away from war. And so, Irina, thank you. I appreciate the work she's doing, but also just kind of sharing. And
definitely
stay safe out there, girl.
Appreciate you sharing, but please stay safe and good luck with everything that you're working on. And then totally random picture that should be a MoshiCam from Greg. They all have matching rain jackets. I just had to show this because it made me smile, but also that should be a MoshiCam. So what are you doing? I would have minted that. I would have absolutely minted that. Speaking of minting, this is the Homegrown Poppies. This is Blurred Lines, which is still available to mint, but only through this Friday. So if you are interested in picking this up from Renee Campbell, this was our 5th Here for the Art drop. So go check that out. We have not scheduled our next one, so I'm working on that. But it will be coming up later this month. And everyone who was on our Hypersub, our Wawa Hypersub, got this airdrop to them. And anyone else can mint it for 1,500 DGen. So go check that out. This was funny. So Murtaza posted this, but also posted an important difference. Farcaster is the sane app. And then V's point was, sane, yes. Okay. Kind of disproving the point, but I found it amusing.
That's a picture of breakfast and a revolver?
Breakfast and a revolver. Guns with breakfast. The one last thing. I'm like 93 this is from Jack, J4CK. I'm like 93.7% sure Warpcast changed the font recently. Anyone else notice this? And apparently, yes, Steve did. Is it just me, or did the mobile Warpcast body text go down? a weight and boldness. It feels a bit more airy. I think I like it. And then they went on to discover that, yes, there was a change in the fonts. They did make a change, a tiny, tiny, tiny little change, but these amazing designers picked it up immediately, which I found
Immediately, yeah.
crazy, crazy. I didn't notice a thing, but very cool that you all did. All right, we're going to bring up our guests today from the park, Derek G. Taylor, Josh Lippy, Ben Schwer. I know I pronounced that way wrong, and Tim Anderson. And thank you all for being here. We love having you here. So, behind us, as you can see, was from the FWB studio when we were there for Base Camp and FWB Fest, and it was absolutely amazing. And there's a recording of that, which I'm trying to pull up the video. I'm still working on that, which I'm hoping I can get it done before we end. But if not, it will be in our show notes, and you can actually mint it on Zora, and it's amazing. But let's start off with, in case we have folks who are joining us and who do not know what the park is. First of all, what rock have you been living under? But also, we want to catch them up. So, Derek G. Taylor, what is the park? And let's just start there. Start there.
It's 20 years plus of friendship and art and music and creation. Originally founded in San Francisco and moving to Los Angeles. Now it's on-chain and worldwide. But music is the heart of the park.
Music is the heart of the park.
I'll let Tim, I'll let Dave.
Yeah, if you want to
let other
expand
people
on what you've been doing, like on some Happy Fridays, and talk a little bit about your recording sessions, and then also let's talk about what you did at FWB Fest. So whoever wants to jump in.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
On a Monday, it's always the best.
On a Monday. Happy Friday.
We say jam at any hour of the day, and we say happy Friday. Any day of the week.
True.
It's a Friday state of mind for us.
Yeah.
Josh, you kick it off a little, and then I'll take it over from you.
Sure. So the Happy Fridays at the Park series that we've been doing now for almost 4 years kicked off as an extension of what Derek was saying, just the park as musicians and creative individuals getting together to just make cool things together and kind of have food, have coffee together, learn from each other. So what had started in San Francisco and grew into LA, we started working with Tim Anderson at his studio, and we would meet on Fridays and just get together and have lunch and coffee. And we would start to, with Derek's help, learn about blockchain technology, different ways of how that could be worked in the music industry and the art industry. We would have different industry professionals of different mediums to just like pick their brain, learn from each other, and then we would make a song from scratch. So we would have different guest artists, and we would have essentially a jam session, and then the music that we made that day we would mint and put on chain. So it was really just a fun exploration of community and creation and collaboration. And it took off into becoming a fully filmed episodal series that we've done 2 seasons now. And we're already getting excited for season 3. It's 2 full-length albums of all these collaborations, and all kinds of fun media and consistent mints for the last 3 years.
Amazing. And WV Fest, you all had a studio where you created music live and dropped that as an NFT not long after, but also played in the amphitheater with that were going on in the background. So talk a little bit about how that came to that experience and how that all went.
Yeah, this year Fest was amazing because we did, with the help of Prop 573, we were able to curate just a whole fun weekend of events. We had the Happy Friday brews that are behind you guys there. We had the whole workspace. We had coffee. We had food, the Nounish burgers. And we really just brought that spirit of Fridays at the Park for a whole weekend. We basically created a space that was like kind of the clubhouse, like a park clubhouse. So we did what we do with having the discussions about Builder DAOs. We also had our Fridays at the Park session where we had our guest artists, Chloe Angelides, Toby, Leon Knight, these amazing artists that we've got to work with in the studio. We brought them all out and we just wrote a song from scratch, which became Right Here, Right Now. And we got a bunch of Noun people involved in the gang vocals, which got captured cool on the episode. So yeah, we just made a song collectively from the creators around us. And then we also got to perform on the main stage. And we did a short set. Hopefully we get to do a longer one next time. But we did this amazing, quick hybrid mashup of just some of the highlights of songs we've created over the last 2 seasons. So that included songs with artists from Uganda, included the artists that were there, other fun and really talented artists who have been active in on-chain music like Hudson, and we had multimedia behind us where even if they weren't there, they were up on the screen singing. And yeah, it was just a really special weekend for us that kind of like culminated all these things we had been working on and things that we were like, I don't know if that we can do that. And it all happened and it was great.
And just to put a little bit more context for those who don't know, the park is also a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization built on Nouns Builder, and has been funded by Nouns DAO for this particular activation. So that's where that, sort of helped to bring that to life. And you also now have a new prop that's coming up to vote in tomorrow, it looks like 26 hours, because we did have a question from Yes to Crypto. When does the Nouns proposal end? So what is it that you're trying to do next with this new what's the give me the TLDR? Whoever wants to take it.
Sure, I'll jump in. The inspiration from everything we've done in partnering with this group is insane. I was just thinking about when we started this, when we like 4.5 years ago, when we started meeting every Friday to meet who is doing interesting things in music and on chain. And there was no Farcaster, there was no bass. There was like, think about the things 5 years ago to now is part of why we're sort of being, I guess, bullish on what we've been doing, finding a way to make it broader and keep going, because everyone who comes to Fridays at the Park, and everyone should, usually leaves with this just like smile and like, this was amazing. Oh my God, I guess you meet up and you make music and you make art and then you mint it. This is insane. And even when we first started doing it, Derek had to be like in one room with an iPad and a laptop and on the phone with friends, because just minting things on the fly and taking what we were doing, it almost didn't really exist. So that's the funnest part about what we've been doing, is trying out things of how to get art on chain and build a community around it. We've done that in a really fun way with the Park DAO, but then like, how do we proliferate it and like perpetuate it out? That's what the prop is about. We have this opportunity. The recording studio where we work and function out of is in this campus that's run by the Grammys, the music kind of voting, awards system. And so it has this kind of cool history and it has some inspiring things to it. And then we also saw these gaps in music.
I don't know if you,
am I breaking up? Sorry.
It might just be me. I wasn't sure if it's just me or if it's, hopefully everybody else could hear that. Okay.
Am I breaking up? Oh no!
Good on my end.
You get here.
Okay, great. It might just be me. Continue. Great.
Yeah. So yeah, in that campus, there's another space that opened up that we had our eyes on, a space where we could have Nouns coffee, we could have our Nouns beer station, we can do the Fridays at the Park in a way that just builds something bigger and more beautiful about activations. We can have incredible guests and just capture everything we've been doing and find a really good way to get it out there. And so in the prop is all the details. If you want to read it, it's pretty thought out, and we worked really hard to make sure that what we were dreaming could be turned into something really, 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 really fun and cool that just takes nouns into a place where everyone needs to know what it is. Big artists, you know, community members, people in education, all these people that we bring together. It was inspired a little bit by something called Red Bull Music Academy that doesn't exist anymore, but was this way for artists who either didn't have a way or an ability to get into a recording session or a music lesson or whatever, creating a space for that, and then a way to proliferate this stuff. And then in the background, it was like, drink a bunch of Red Bull while you do it. So yeah, that's the concept. It gets way into more detail, and I bet one of the other. I'm talking a lot. I don't know if one of the other guys wants to.
I think it's essentially the spirit of what we were able to create just for that weekend. We're trying to do that every day, all the time, forever. So it's like we've gone from just having Fridays, thanks to Tim offering us his space to work, to doing these sort of like on-site installations that we've done at a few different festivals, and now it's like we have this opportunity to basically do this every day at a very high level with high quality, with like just stepping everything up and bringing it to the larger music community.
Amazing.
I have to say,
and
yeah,
go ahead.
I was just say, Josh, and I was lucky enough to be in that room at FWB, and it was like by far one of my highlights of that entire week. And it's really hard to, I think, explain on a very two-dimensional digital feed how unique and special like that, what you created. And so I hope you're able to keep, to take that and scale it to more people is,
I mean, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And that's really the point, is like to be able to do that just daily, versus once a week or once a month, to be able to just like level that up. Like something that is really important essentially for all of us, but for me with this particular prop is it's about securing this space so that we can do this. And we can go granular with, the things that we want to do as far as master classes or studio sessions or activations and mentorships. But with community spaces, the space is literally like what generates all of that, if that makes sense. Meaning like the space itself is the class to me. Like the musicians that we are and the producers we've become and the songwriters is because we've had these other mentors who allowed us to come to the studio. Like I literally would sleep on the couch at studios that my friends owned to work on my own music, or we would trade like, hey, if you do this session for me, you can have this thing here. And like, I was able to like lean over the shoulder of the engineers and what's that? What's this? And they were always willing to share that information. So as much as we're excited about like having organized classes where we actually do have, either podcasts, or we're going to do the whole season of Fridays at the Park again, and then we'll have a space to film it ourselves versus having to rent out other spaces to film it. It'll just be this in-house place where we can provide that mentorship and that space for artists to just come, like just to be there and learn is kind of invaluable. Like you almost can't put a price tag on that, because that is literally what we got to get here. And so it's a way for us to provide that just physical space to give back. So
Amazing.
That's really exciting for me, is like knowing younger artists that don't have the budgets to go into a huge studio that we believe in. We can donate our time. We can donate our.
Yeah, if you look at songs that were written from Red Bull Music Academy, it's like AWOL Nation's sale wouldn't exist for the world if it wasn't for Red Bull Music Academy. We have the opportunity to provide that space to create as well, and have Nounish like media and branding around it, and legitimize an industry that definitely has a bad rap. So it's like Nouns does good. Nouns funds great ideas. We're doing good. We're continuing to make great ideas real and bigger in the world together. So
One thing I
it's
noticed
exciting opportunity.
when you had the event at FWB Fest was there were artists in the room who were there for Fest who were not necessarily on chain, like they weren't producing anything on chain, and they didn't know anything about nouns, or they didn't know about some of the things that were happening, and it was really a great educational opportunity. So I think that's one thing that I could see coming from this is moving more activity on chain, not just producing it and throwing it on, traditional media platforms.
Yeah,
So
that's
I think
one thing
that's a
one
cool
thing I wanted
opportunity.
to expand on. Josh is way more articulate than I'm going to be right now about it, but just to highlight it, the concept of like a community of practice, right, where we're all coming together. I mean, really, that's what the DAO is.
Right.
And we're just sharing ideas and learning from each other. And I think, we're really lucky. We've been in this business and industry in different ways, for a long time. So we have access to all the fancy people. But what's really interesting is, creating a space, as Josh was mentioning, where we can kind of bring in those emerging artists that aren't quite aware of these new tools and how to create their own distribution. And I mean, there's just so much rich information there that can be shared, and we learn a lot from them as well. So the idea of just scaling that and evolving that concept is really exciting.
Yeah, and you're totally right about artists not like helping educate artists about works on chain, distribution on chain, just creating on chain, and that's what Derek has been a huge steward for, of us included. That's sort of where the Fridays originated, was us learning from Derek, us trying to grapple it enough to then be able to be a voice to other musicians and artists. And the idea of nouns having the studio, it just is this open door to learn, because you could literally, it doesn't have to come on that premise, but it makes it a safe place to, like, you come to the studio to make music, because that's what we do forever, and that's what we're going to do forever. And so it's like, they show up, we have coffee, we're having nouns coffee, we're having food, you're seeing the noggles, they're like, what's this all about? And it's like, it's coming from an organic place of interest versus like lecture or like trying to force anything. You're just creating a space that people can walk into, and then once they walk into, they can take what they want. But we're still going to be creative no matter what. So it's like kind of this perfect hybrid of you're just giving everyone the chance to ask questions, and there's no wrong questions to ask. Right. And
you're tapping into something they're already interested in. And
exactly.
I'm seeing that a lot on Farcaster with whether it's music or fitness or whatever, you're tapping into something they already are interested in, tabletop, and then sort of adding an element that connects it on chain. Mm-hmm. That sort of stealth mode. We're gonna bring the next billion users on chain stealth mode, right? Through coffee and music. I love it.
Fully, yeah.
It's a magic trick.
Yeah. And it's amazing that the person who named his kid Eth is the one who's onboarding everybody. This should not be surprising at all, right?
Eth Ruby Taylor, she's here. She's in the background. She's excited.
We hear you singing, Eth. We hear you.
The people, initially when we were bringing people on chain, it'd be for one-of-one works, and we would have to front people like $200 to $500 in ETH to put a song on catalog. And now we can help people with just literally an email address, and suddenly, they're minting for under 30 cents, and, protocol rewards being paid, and people are building new things. Like, it's amazing progress we've made the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And we really just want to like turn that up. The people that are a part of our networks have huge influence and have huge impressions. And if we can show them that, there's progress from this one little room to a bigger space, consistent seasons over 3 years, you're like, oh, there is something here. Grammy Museum is like, oh yeah, I definitely want to work with it. Sorry, Eth is excited too.
Eth is very excited about this.
Yeah, it's pretty fun over here.
There's kind of an exciting thing for us of, a lot of you, maybe read the Outliers Malcolm Gladwell book, or people
Yeah.
hear about the 10,000 hours concept of putting in those hours to become a master at your craft. But the other really important thing about that book was that there was a thing about timing for these particular outliers that they're talking about, and there was a element of access. So it was like access, timing, and the hours put in all lining up. And for us, this really feels like that moment, because we've for sure already put in our hours, and now there's this timing of this opportunity of this space, which then allows us to give this space to the next generation. So it really feels like one of those moments for us of like the stars aligning of timing and space and access, and just like now a new place to extend hours for everyone's to put in. Part of that is linking with our partner who runs Velvet Tone Studios, who's going to be outfitting the studio with his gear. And we go back with him 20 years. So he actually, produced and engineered some of our earlier bands in Sacramento. So even just the fact that he's involved and has come back into our life is that idea of kind of the stars aligning for us, and the timing, and working with like tried and true people who have put in the work. So it's like professionals that already are operating at a high level. It's not sort of starting from the ground up. You know what I mean?
And when I'm thinking about this too, I think there's opportunity within the Web3 space to bring in other artists who are already doing things on chain. And I mean, some of those other artists are Pharrell with doodles. And I mean, there's some, but also you got people like Violetta, and who, some folks who have had some incredible on-chain success that you also could be hosting and talking about all those, different outlets. So I think there's so much opportunity here for education as well as just fun and creation. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm wishing you the best of luck. Yeah, it's amazing. And collaboration. Yeah. I loved that we all got to collaborate in that space. That was really fun, and be a part of a song. And that's, if you're not in the music industry or have never done anything like that, it was such a special moment, like Adrian mentioned. So I really appreciate that we had that experience. And I think something like this would allow for more people to have that opportunity. Eth was there. Eth sang. I heard her. She was singing early on. She was saying the yeah. She was saying the yeah.
Prof,
she's on the song.
Record?
So
were you there? Did you join the recording?
I recorded. Yeah, I was right here, right now. Yeah, I'm on there. Yeah. You can hear me.
I was told if you have
I'm on the vocals.
I was told if you have a good voice, go to the stage. So
I believe what they said was anybody. That's what I heard.
Later.
I didn't hear anything about good voice. I heard anybody.
Do you guys have a sense? Do you have a sense for the likelihood of your prop passing?
Good question.
It's an interesting time for the noun world. There's definitely like contention from people who I don't think really understand the music industry at all. And respectfully, but yeah, it could go either way. Sorry, it's hard for me to talk. Tim.
I can give a little color on that right now too. It's an interesting time because we're in a bit of a transition phase. So there's a big ask on this because it does have a lot of cost involved. So, which is, understandable. So it's going to come down to whether or not, I think that the timing might be right for you all. I'm not sure if the timing is right for nouns at the moment. So we'll see how it goes. I think you've made a great pitch. I think it went well, to the Nouncil crew. So we'll see what happens. But it's I think it's about a 50-50 shot right now. So we'll see what happens.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I'm saying there's a chance. I am saying there's a chance.
We got a positive energy that it's gonna be good. We're positive thinkers and manifestors, so we're coming in happy and
we're
excited.
securing this lease regardless. It's too huge of an opportunity to pass up. So yeah, we're in motion to make this happen with the park regardless. It would be great
That's
for
awesome.
nouns to be involved. It really legitimize,
Wow.
the efforts of this huge global community in a big way. But regardless, the park will be doing that. So
Well, I'm not in nouns, as you know, and I'm not in the park DAO.
you can vote with reason on chain, even with zero weight on nouns.cam.
Oh,
Yeah,
just to influence the.
Yeah, there are ways.
Okay. I
So
will
would
just
you,
say,
if you had a noun, how would you vote, Adrian?
I'll just vouch. I mean, I will vouch for what I know about the park and my few experiences. Derek, when I first met you, it was at FarCon, the beta. And I was like, who's this guy in the corner
That's right.
grinding coffee beans and chilling out, making coffee? And then I met you only again at FWB Fest when you made this special space for people to get together and create. And I just felt like it's so clear that you're doing the work, and you may not be like it, there's kind of talk the talk, but walk the walk. And I think the vibe I'm getting is you're doing way more walking than talking and it's so evident that you've really just like, it was really, really special. Like I was blown away, but beyond then you're cooking for everyone outside. You're giving away, like it just, and everything I've heard from you today in terms of what this prop is about is it's all outward. It's all about helping emerging artists. It's about like, so you just, the vibe I'm getting is you guys are just such a generous and like really, really strong values. So I can't vote, but I really hope it passes because I'm very impressed with the work and I think you're doing good work in the world and I'd like to see more of it. So
amazing.
Thank you very much.
And there are ways to express how you feel about a prop, even if you do not have any votes. You can.
So I can clip that. I can clip what I just said and put that on chain for you.
And then you can also add add a vote with reason with what we call zero weight. And there are a couple ways to vote if you hold other tokens. So for example, if you have a little noun, you can vote in little nouns. If you have a Shark DAO token, you can vote in Shark DAO. If you are holding any nogs, the little $ nogs, you can vote on Warpcast within the frame in the Noggles channel and be able to vote there and control those two votes. So there's lots of little ways to participate, even if you are not a nouns holder. So a lot of fun.
Cool.
And anything else that you want to highlight in terms of the park in general or this prop or anything else that we maybe missed before we wrap?
I would just say that from just also listening to somebody beam about Derek G. Taylor a little bit, oh man, my face, I start to well up because not a lot of Derek's not a he's not a stand on a milk carton and yell at everyone kind of leader. He leads from the back almost, just making sure everything's right, telling him, sharing information, onboarding so many people over the last years.
Many people.
It's like insane. Yeah. And we're kind of here, we're all equal founders and everyone in our DAO is equal in our mind. But we really want to support him because the intention is like so pure. But yeah, what I want to say about the prop is the cool thing about it is like, I can't even imagine the positivity. There'll be ways to quantify all the ROIs and all that, but then just what could happen, just like how a couple years ago, this wasn't a thing, that wasn't a thing, all these things that kind of have come up in the last few years that are really cool. There's no way to know where this will lead, but it will be good. Like it will be unbelievably exciting, whether it's huge hit songs and kids learning things they never could have and people having fun and all this, or something bigger. Like those are the things we can probably make sure happen. There's just no telling, like if you take the 4 or 5 years of Park DAO and like really focus it into a 24/7 beautiful alley. I don't know. I'm losing. Not enough coffee yet. Not enough coffee yet. Yeah.
The lyrics will come. The lyrics will come.
There's there's no
You're on
telling
it, Tim.
where. Yeah,
You're on it.
there's no telling where it could go. So we really want everyone to be a part of it. That's the fun thing about the park. Everyone is welcome. So that's the thing. I just want to make sure everyone knows. It's like a
Yeah.
super community vibe.
Yeah, piggybacking that, like it's beautiful what you said about like Derek, and with Derek's lead, the park definitely does more walking than talking. Like we don't even like to talk. We get weird about it. You know what I mean? Like
You'd rather sing it. You'd rather sing it and do it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and the same way that for us engaging in the community and on-chain world of music is like mediums of distribution of music have changed for us 5 times because we've been doing music our whole lives, and we'll continue to be being creative and making art and making music and collaborating with people. So finding these exciting avenues to use it for the better and for teaching and for artist empowerment is really exciting for us. So we're going to keep walking regardless of the prop, but it would be great to have people come with us on the journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And in speaking of, next week, you'll be walking into Nounstown on Wednesday. So next week, for anyone who's in LA or who's going to be traveling to LA for Nounstown, there's a few different activations happening. I should have pulled up a link, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So Nounstown is happening on Wednesday. The park will be performing. On Friday, there's also Bagels and Builders coffee meetup, 9:30 a.m. at Minotti's. And then there's going to be another activation with the park right after that, I believe, or happening around that time. I'm not even sure. What exactly are you doing for that one? Can you share a little more about Friday's activation?
Yeah, we're going to do Fridays at the park. You know, people will come from Minotti's caffeinated, but there'll be more coffee for sure. We'll be drinking Noun coffee in the evening. But yeah, studio space, see people write a song, you know, do some deeper dives and some talks, just so Nouns people can feel like what a Fridays at the Park experience is. We'll be able to share the other space. Eat's ready for Mom to be there too. It'll be very exciting. And then
looking forward to seeing
Sunday,
you. Looking forward to seeing her.
Saturday we'll really be working with Dreamland down. Yesterday, Eth went and skated the mega ramp with Bob Burnquist. Unreal.
Oh, cool.
Like,
cool.
Bob's growing coffee at Dreamland, so that Saturday the 12th is like a real finale for Noun to serve some coffee and music at one of the biggest skate ramps in the world. Like it's unreal. Yeah, Eth went and I went yesterday. It's so
amazing.
Crazy. Sorry.
Amazing.
It's so
amazing.
Crazy.
So yeah, there's a whole like few days of activities. So Tuesday we're having a happy hour at Hotel Irwin with GM Farcaster, Builder DAO, and Little Nouns. Wednesday is a whole day activation at Secret Walls, including the park will be performing. Also, Nouns Esports is going to be doing some things. Tabletop's going to be there with I Speak Nerd. We're going to be playing some board games. Yes, I will be kicking people's butts in Catan. Yes, that will be happening. Thursday, we have Nouns Fest, which is a film festival of 50 different animators. That's going to be at the United Theater. There's tickets for that. I don't know if there's any still available, but you can check that out. Donald Faison is going to be hosting. There's going to be an after party. It should be a lot of fun. And then Friday, as we mentioned, in the morning at Minotti's, we're going to be having Bagels and Builders. And even if you are not attending anything else, but you're in LA, if you're on Farcaster and you're a builder, please pop by, grab a coffee and a bagel and hang out and chat with everybody. And then there's a few different activations in the afternoon. As we mentioned, Derek mentioned the park. There's also a skateboarding activation or surfing activation, sorry. And there's also the Nouns Breakers. And then on Saturday, there's a big event at Dreamland, which is Bob Burnquist's skate park. And that'll be happening on Saturday. So an amazing week of crazy fun. So if you're going to be in LA, even if you're not signed up for all this stuff, there's a lot of things you can still come and be a part of. So look for that, nounstown.wtf for the full schedule. Thank you for dropping that in. And Anything else that I may have missed as we wrap this up? And thank you all for being here. So go check out, and you can check out the prop on nouns.wtf or nouns.camp and read more about that if you are a voter or if you want to vote with some 0-8 votes somewhere. So you can feel free to do that as well. Amazing. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So for those who don't know, who may know, Bob Burnquist is a pretty famous skateboarder, in the Tony Hawk, I messed that up. Tony Hawk video game.
Oh,
Yeah.
today, by
Tony's
the way,
new
Fred, today is the 25th anniversary of Tony Hawk Pro Skater launching, which is
that's
pretty
funny.
cool. Definitely
cool.
was a big
That's very
part
cool.
of my childhood. It's so crazy. 25 years
Isn't
ago
it crazy?
today.
And it's crazy
that
that
game came out.
he's just going to be hanging out with us next week. It's really cool. Like just hanging out, having some coffee.
Very cool.
All right. That is all we got for today. That was a lot of GM Farcaster. Adrian, did I miss anything? Anything else you want to shout out? Oh, yes. We need to talk about tomorrow again.
Happy Friday. Yeah. So just a
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Thank you.
Happy Friday, everybody.
first, shout out tomorrow. We're hosting a base builder meetup, Farcaster meetup on the Lower East Side of New York City. So if you haven't RSVP'd and you're in town, definitely come. And we're hosting that with Snickerdoodle and Uno and several other and
Base
and Base and Icebreaker and lots of New York City friends. So that'll be a good hang. Wednesday we have our show at our normal time with we have a special guest dropping by, the Magic Eden intern, to talk about growing your brand account on Farcaster and how to approach that. Vibe check with Dewoofi on Wednesday. He's interviewing these weirdo founders, Adrian and now Nishpraf.
Crazy people.
The weird one. And back at Friday at our normal time. And next week, while Prof is gallivanting with with Nouns Town, I will be holding down the fort with some special guest hosts. So stay tuned.
And then on next Friday, I will be popping on and sharing everything from Nounstown. So it's going to be a big week. Anyway,
thank God.
Thank God. I will come back on, I promise. But with that, we do have to call it here. Thank you to the park for joining us today. This was amazing. Great chat. This will be available. The recording's always available on YouTube right after, but it will also be available on Zora and other places soon, later this afternoon. So we can get the word out. And with that, everybody, we're going to say happy Friday and bye-bye.